So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to our lecturers and also my fellow friends. So, today, I will explain you guys about the hormone involved in menstruation cycle for my assignment 3. My name is Tusa Sabila binti Hisham Akwi, which is SIP2007 So, let's move on to the next slide. For this topic, the student will able to answer the question which is first, what is the menstruation is about? Second, hormone involved in menstrual cycle, and the last one is the role of hormone involved during the menses. So before we get started, let's watch the video about the menstruation cycle.
Menstruation, also called having a period. As girls get older and their bodies change, they get their periods. The uterus is the part inside the body where a baby grows when a woman is pregnant. The inner lining of the uterus supports and nourishes the developing baby. If there is no baby, the lining is shed during her period. During a period, blood and other tissue from the uterus leave the body through the vagina. A period can last from a few days to about a week. You may have heard doctors talk about the menstrual cycle. This is the time from one period to another, usually about 28 days. Day 1 of the menstrual cycle is the first day of a period. The uterus starts to shed its lining. As soon as the period ends, the uterus prepares again to receive a fertilized egg. Eggs are released from a woman's ovaries. Eggs are super tiny, 1/10 the size of a poppy seed. Women have 2 ovaries, one on each side. The fallopian tubes lead from each ovary to the uterus. In the middle of the menstrual cycle, an ovary releases an egg. After ovulation, the egg travels down the fallopian tube. It takes a few days to complete the journey. Meanwhile, the lining of the uterus gradually gets thicker so it can support the development of a fertilized egg. If the egg gets fertilized, it will implant in the uterus and the woman is pregnant. If the egg is not fertilized, the woman is not pregnant and the egg will begin to dissolve. Because the woman is not pregnant, the lining of the uterus is not needed. A woman will have her monthly period and the cycle begins again.
Have just seen the video about the menstruation cycle. So let's get some pictures to brainstorming about what is in this topic. So first, what do you think about this picture? This is a endometrium wall. Okay, next. Second, this is about your ovary. Right. And third, what is the structure which is have the coronary data, cytoplasm, nucleus, and zona pellucida. This structure is about the ovum. So fourth, the clue is the structure used for the hormone control. So this is a pituitary gland. Next is a corpus luteum, and the last one is they have tail and have at the male organ which is a sperm. Now we have guessed some of these pictures, so I will do a diagnosis test to know about your level of your knowledge, which is you have learned in Form 1, which is a menstruation. So this is a question for the diagnosis test. First is menstruation is discharge of, you can choose here, and 2, the discharge of RNC in 1 will going through, if the hurt had menstruation is means that you can choose A, B, C, D. Fourth, which hormone involved in menstruation cycle? Which is GnRH, FSH, LH, or estrogen? Fifth, what hormone help to stimulate the repairing and thickening of endometrium wall? Sixth, follicle stimulating hormone FSH help to. 7. What hormone stimulate the ovulation at 14 days? 8. What will happen if the ovum does not undergo fertilization? 9. Corpus luteum secrete, and the last one is hypothalamus secrete. So I will make this test elements so I can get the actual answers from you before we start our lesson. So let's move on to our part 1, which is what is the menstruation is all about. Roughly, menstruation is discharge of unfertilized ovum, uterus lining, endometrium wall, and the last one is all of the three is discharged through the vagina. So, the breakdown of lining of uterus will and it discharged through vagina with some blood, cells, tissue fluid, and also the glandular secretion. So from this picture, you can see that if the woman reach puberty, so he will undergo menstruation. So if they go menstruation, she will reach a puberty that you have learned in the form 1. So this is the picture about the menstruation cycle. We start from this red one, which is day 1 to 7. From this picture, you can see this is like a rotation, which is non-stop in the human body for woman if she reaches a puberty. So if the period starts from day 1, so it counts as 1 to 7, which is a menstruation happen, and then is a 8 to 11, which is the lining of womb thickening in a preparation for egg. Next, we move on to the green one, which is ovulation occurs. So as we all know that ovulation will occur at the 14th day. So this will happen between 14 and 15. So the ovum will release from the ovary. And next is the luteal phase. Luteal phase is about the 18 to 25 days, which is if the fertilization takes place, the corpus luteum will be falls away. But if there is no fertilization occurs, the uterine lining starts to discharge, leading to the menstruation will occur back. So it will act as a cycle. So part 2. Before this, we have learned about the cycles. So what is the hormone involved in the menstruation cycle? To control all the regulation of this hormone, we can see that from this chart, we have the estrogen and progesterone. Means if the estrogen is higher, there is inhibition of another of the hormone. So roughly, in this part 2, we will learn about some of this term, which is a follicle stimulating hormone, which is a short form of FSH. Second is luteinizing hormone, which is LH. Third is gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH, estrogen, and also the progesterone. So this is a table shows that the hormone involved in a menstruation cycle. So you can take note from this. So first is FSH. FSH is a follicle stimulating hormone, which is secreted at the anterior of pituitary gland. As I just mentioned before, and we have seen in the picture, this is a pituitary gland. This is posterior, but also the anterior. So the FSH follicle is secreted at the anterior of pituitary gland. The anterior of pituitary gland is causes an egg to mature in an ovary, stimulate the ovaries to release the estrogen. The second is estrogen. Estrogen is secreted at the follicle cell of the ovaries in women. What is the important? He stopped the FSH being produced so that only one egg matures in the cycle. Repair thickening and maintain the uterus lining, stimulate the pituitary gland to release the LH. Next is LH, luteinizing hormone. Is secreted same as the FSH in a pituitary gland, so it triggers the ovulation to release the mature egg. So the last one is the progesterone. Progesterone is secreted from the corpus luteum ovaries. It maintains the lining of uterus during the latter part of the menstrual cycle during the pregnancy. So move on. Okay, this picture is about the regulation of hormone involved in menstrual cycle. So you have seen the table before. So I will more detail to explain, which is there is a brain, which is a hypothalamus. So here hypothalamus will secrete the hormone of GnRH. GnRH will stimulate the pituitary gland, which is here, to secrete the LH and also FSH. So it will pass down to the ovary, and the ovary will produce the estrogen, progesterone, and the last one is go to the uterus, which is this part. Now you understand about the hormone involved in menstrual cycle. So the part 3 is, what is the role hormone control in the menstrual cycle? Menstrual cycle is controlled by the hormones. So after the menstruation, which is day 1 to day 7, the pituitary gland produces the follicle stimulating hormone, which is FSH. We stimulate the development of egg follicle in the ovary. The development of egg follicles secrete another hormone that called as estrogen. We stimulate repairing and thickening of endometrium. It's like if the ovary release the egg, so there is thickening of endometrium wall through preparation of the attachment of the ovum. So the higher level of progesterone detected by pituitary gland to secrete the luteinizing hormone, which stimulate the ovulation, formation of corpus luteum. So corpus luteum secrete progesterone to maintain the thickening. So this have thickened, but to maintain the thickening, the corpus luteum take place. And the last one is, if fertilization does not occur, the corpus luteum will degenerate and the level of progesterone is false because it leads to endometrium degenerate and shade of menstruation. So this picture is explain to you about what I have explained before. So these structures are very important for you to understand. So I will repeat it to get you to more clear. So this is a part of our brain which is have a hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will secrete the GnRH, which is GnRH will stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to produce the FSH and so as the LH hormone. So this diagram shows you about if the FSH is low, FSH is high, the LH is low. FSH is the purple one, LH is the pink one. So you can see it is inversely proportional here. So at the day of 40, the LH will be at the peak. This is for the follicle development. So here we can correlate with this picture, which is at day 1 there is a formation of the egg, and after ovulation occur, the egg will release from the ovary and the corpus luteum will form here. So the ovulation will occur at the day of 14. This is very important. So what is the correlation between the pictures is, if the ovulation occurs, the level of the estrogen is lower and the progesterone level is continually increases. This for the thickening of the endometrium wall. So you can see this is a picture of endometrium wall. Endometrium wall is located at the uterus here, so the upper part here. This is a wall here. So during the menstruation, the thickening of wall is very thin because there is this degenerate through the uterus. So after the ovulation occurs, the thickening of wall is become thickened. This is for preparation of the attachment of the ovum after be fertilized by the sperm. So this will support the pregnancy here. Okay, so now what is your skill of understanding? So actually the teachers will ask here to just for the formative assessment. So the teachers ask the student to understand by using scale of 1 to 4. So from here, maybe I will ask them where you are. For the first part, if they raise up their hand, that first is they not understand. The second, I understand apparently. Third is I partially understand. And fourth is I absolutely understand and can explain it. So if the student get more to do this group, so I will proceed to teach. If the half of them are falls into 1 and 2, so I will teach some of the content. So by using this method, we can know the level of understanding of our student. So part 4, this is a summary. So hormone involved in menstruation cycle is a FSH, which is a follicle stimulating hormone that I have mentioned before. This is a follicle. This is about the formation of ovum. So next is estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone for the ovulation occurs, and also the luteinizing hormone. And the last one is progesterone. Progesterone is very important for the endometrium thickening wall. This is because after the ovulation occurs, the wall must be thickened to support the attachment of the ovule after being fertilized by the sperm. So if the fertilization not occurs, the progesterone will drop and the menstruation will start again. For the last, I will ask my student to do some tasks which is for the summative assessment. So the first thing, I will ask them to draw the item map, which is maybe a bubble matrix or based on their criteria. This is important to me to get know their knowledge and also generate their creativity. So secondly is to prepare for our examination. I will ask them to answer the past questions about the question that related in our daily life. So they will make in the group and pass certainly. And then is the mini discussion with their partners by using the ladder of the feedback. So after they do the item map and also the puzzle question, they discuss the answer together. So by using the ladder of the feedback, they must use this, which is first is clarify, which is ask the question to help you understand fully, which is they will make a round table and ask about the topic, and everyone must talk about the one topic. And second is the value. So they must expect what you would like to giving details on example, which is they must include the example. And the third is state the concern, which is kind express their concern, which is I think that's true, and I think you must add something about your points like that. So this can create more concern in their friend members. So the last one is they must make a conclusion, which is such as make a suggestions for improvement. So if there's some of their friends or partners did not have a missing point, so they can suggest points for them to complete their understanding. So after that, after the class, I will do the home online test, which is I will ask them about the summative assessment about the menstruation cycle and also hormone regulation. This to make sure they are well prepared and study well at home. And at the next class, I will discuss about their answer and they will make the correction. So thank you for listening about my assignment 3, which is the assessment involved in our biology education. So I hope this can help the teachers out there to more prepared for the assessment, especially for the abstract topic like this. Thank you.